Good morning, everyone. My name is Nick, and thank you for joining me today. And I know I usually say good afternoon because usually it's the afternoon when I record these, but today it is the morning, and I'm headed into work because I very foolishly agreed to work a 12-hour shift. It's Easter Sunday today as I record this, and I don't know, we were short. Someone asked me if I wanted to split the morning shift with the night guy, and why did I agree to that? Anyway. Um, in the last video that I recorded, I mentioned the fact that I was in Montreal for about a week. This was in 2012, in order to get my green card to move to the States. And, I didn't have a lot going on. I didn't have a lot of money to, do any touristy things. So I spent quite a bit of time wandering around and taking pictures and stuff, and it was fine. One day, I don't know, I don't remember exactly what day of the week it was, but one day I was in my hotel room. I don't remember if I was sleeping in or editing pictures or what I was doing, but I was in my room and all of a sudden I heard kind of a racket outside. There was definitely some like drumming and some shouting. It's kind of a weird noise. So, I walked over to my window, opened up the curtains, and there's an entire like procession of people walking past the hotel. And, what's that about? And you noticed some flags and signs and stuff that I kind of recognize. And, well, you know what? There's something to take pictures of. So rather quickly grabbed the camera. I don't know, maybe I had to get dressed too. But got all the things that I needed and headed out and started following this procession. As it turns out, it was a march from an organization called CLASS, CLASSE, and I can't remember exactly what that stands for. I think it's an acronym. It would be an acronym in French, which is just something that I don't speak that well. Long story short, though, this organization is in favor of free higher education. This is not a political channel. I'm not going to get into my opinions for or against that. That's not the point of what I'm talking about here. But, I've covered politics, political events for both sides of the aisle. I actually really enjoy doing it. To be honest, I actually enjoy covering the side that I don't agree with more because, frankly, they're just more interesting. But so, I'm following these folks, taking pictures of people with flags and signs and blah, blah, blah. And I don't know, after probably a mile or so, this truck pulls up on a side street. And it has the Montreal Police Service logo on it, but it has like a topper on the bed. And a cop gets out of the truck, opens up like these kind of gull-wing doors on the sides of this topper, and there's speakers in the back of it. And we're talking like big speakers, right? On both sides of the truck. The speakers filled the bed of this truck and were like the size of these doors on the side of the topper. Big speakers, very, very powerful sound system. And in French, they literally started reading the Riot Act to these folks saying, hey, this is an illegal assembly. You need to disperse. If you don't disperse, we might use force to disperse you or something to that effect. Again, my French is not great, but I got the gist of it. And, I turn around. I'm standing probably about 4 or 5 feet away from this truck, right off the front driver's corner, right? Trying to get a picture of the guy in the truck on microphone and the speakers at the back, kind of trying to tell the whole story. And all of a sudden, just sailing over my shoulder is this big metal trash can. And I don't mean like those light metal, like uh, the ones that you might see on a street corner, or the ones that you could make a lot of racket, like banging on with a stick. I'm talking like a metal bin that gets used like on a street to collect like public trash on a sidewalk. Like the thing had to weigh 40 pounds. This flies right over my shoulder, hits the corner of this truck. I don't remember if it broke the headlight or not, but it certainly did some very visible damage to that front corner, like the hood and the fender there. And of course, I'm like, holy crap, I almost got hit in the head with a metal trash can. I don't want to get hit in the head with a metal trash can, thank you. And so I turn around, and there's a guy behind me who I assume just threw it. And then there's like riot police running into the crowd to grab people that just started throwing crap. And before I knew it, I was basically standing in the middle of a riot, which admittedly I wasn't really prepared for. I'd never been in a situation like that. I didn't really want to be in a situation like that. And a lot of stuff at this intersection started happening fairly rapidly. The truck that had the speakers in it started trying to make a getaway. I assume they were trying to minimize the damage to their vehicle, which probably was a good plan. But then all these guys, wearing all black with their black flags and their black bandanas over their faces and stuff, started chasing this truck. If I can find that picture, I'll try to add it in here. But, they're like throwing crap at this truck and chasing it down the road. I will note, actually, any pictures that I do put in here, they weren't the best. I just got my new camera, and it was a very overcast, like slightly rainy day in Montreal. My settings were not particularly on point, but you'll get the gist of some of the stuff going on. Anyhow, and they're chasing this truck. After not too long, I noticed that on the opposite side of the intersection, down a ways, there were riot police starting to block off the entire road. And I went down there because I'm like, I don't really want to be where I'm at right now, and I don't know how to get away from where I am. So maybe if I just go to them and be like, hey, I just want to leave, they would let me. Well, no, I went down there. I'm like, hi, can I go behind you, please? I'm like, no. Oh, okay, then. All right, well, I guess I'll go back the way I came. So I did. I ended up back at the kind of original intersection where this all kind of sparked off. And after not too long again, there were like people kind of proceeding by, all those riot police started coming down that road, pushing everyone down that road. And then when they got to the intersection where I was, they just charged into the crowd. And I kind of understood what they were doing. They're trying to split up the entire crowd. The problem was they started on one side of the intersection. I was on the other side of the intersection. And so as they charged into the crowd, there was just a wave of humanity that descended upon me, which again was not what I wanted. And so I was kind of, I can't really remember the cardinal directions as to where I was. The point is where I was, there was about a little 3-foot wall between, sidewalk, wall, building, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm going to hop over this wall. That may give me a slight head start on running away. Well, if you've ever heard the phrase, look before you leap, that's not what I did. I looked after I left, and I found out, oh, there's, 10 to 15 feet on the other side of this wall. Huh. So fortunately for me, I did not wear my big backpack full of camera gear, and I was able to do a little tuck and roll, keep the new camera safe, and I was okay, a little freaked out, but I was able to get up and continue out of the area, and it was just a very well unexpected experience for sure. For sure, but I've never been in any potential riot like that before or after. So it was an interesting experience. The folks of Montreal certainly left me with some interesting memories. And as far as I'm aware, the folks at class are still doing whatever they do. I'm not sure that they've made much progress, but I guess I can't fault them for their consistency and their persistence. But don't do riots, folks. Please don't do that. Anyway, uh, thanks for listening to my bizarre little story, and I will see you in the next one.